Good morning, good morning, good morning. I'm halfway to work already, so this is going to be a short one. But no, I thought there's quite a lot going on at the moment, so I thought I'd just record a quick note, because everybody's panicking and saying they don't know what's going on, whereas in fact I personally just think it's quite clear what's going on. To fill you in with the story so far, President Trump has announced 25% tariffs on goods from Mexico and Canada, which, I mean, no doubt would hit trade. It would hit Americans as well, because they'd be the ones that would be paying the tariffs. And has now said that in his entire raison d'etre for doing this, not raison d'etre, that's not the right phrase, is it? His entire rationale for doing this is that he wants to be effective. He wants to be, you know, like with the English governments always come in and say they're going to put a stop to cross-channel immigration, and they never do. And he's the exact opposite of that. He's actually says if he was to do something about cross-channel immigration, he would set up basically detention camps with courts attached to dispose of asylum and immigration claims within 2 weeks, and probably have a network of radar Royal Navy vessels in English waters on our side of the channel, radaring into the French water, and with instructions to tell the French if they see any small boats that are within the 10 miles the French territorial waters, so that the French can intercept, and then we could then have a very firm idea of whether or not the French were going to are going to do anything for all the money we give them or not. So both of these tariffs have been cancelled because in both Mexico and Canada they have rushed to place troops on the borders and to prevent both the leakage of people and of drugs across the borders. And of course he's designated foreign cartels as foreign terrorist organisations, and so he's at the very minute got a spy plane over the Sinatur cartel territory to and I expect we can see some action. In fact, I think we're going to see increasingly more and more action. The other thing he's done is he's closed down the United States Aid Agency, which is really, and everybody knew it was like it was a slush fund at the disposal of the CIA when working all around the world. And as Elon Musk described it, he said it's not a worm in an apple. He said it's an apple-shaped ball of worms. So that's been transferred to the State Department, and AID has been shut down. So, of course, aid to Israel continues unabated, but a lot of other projects, a lot of the favoured CIA projects have all been suspended. So it does make you wonder why, the sort of the consequential politicians in history are ones that have taken bold decisions, made major restructuring decisions. Oh no, matey, you're not getting out of there. Forget that, even if you have got a Mercedes. So, there's a lot. We've got a start of a pushback really on from the Democratic Party, the leftists, They're just really starting to realise that they're things that they've always taken for granted, such as the recruiting people, preferentially based on the colour of their skin or their not based on merit anyway, not a meritocracy. But that is now out of favour. The American public has told the politicians quite firmly that is all out of favour. Why were you stuck there for so long looking at me when you could have pulled out 10 seconds ago? So the Democratic Party in America has got a big problem because they can't say what they stand for, because what they've been saying that they stand for the last 10-20 years has been roundly rejected. So where do they go from here? What is their raison d'etre? That's better, isn't it? Better use of the phrase. So Bitcoin went down from 106 at its peak to 95. I should have bought some yesterday when it was 95, but I didn't because I was just too busy. So today it's gone up to 100. I dare say it'll go up to 106 again, and then 120, and then 150, and then 200. But I shall try and buy some more today before it gets back up to 106. I mean, if you're sitting there staring at your portfolio return for the year, and it says plus 2% or plus 3% or something on the year, I feel sorry for you, because first of all, inflation is historically 6% when you average it all out. Don't believe the government figures. When the people who work inflation out properly by looking at inflation of the money supply and purchasing power parity and how much it costs to buy McDonald's down the ages, etc., etc., they'll tell you it's 6%. So you bank on an average of 6%, right? So then if you're getting 2 or 3%, you're losing money. Your stockbroker or your independent financial advisor is probably telling you you've got £200,000 invested, let's say, and you're doing well because it's gone up to 204 or 206. But it hasn't, because that 200,000 can only buy what £192,000 did a year ago. So you have to understand that the 25%, the world's had a real fright because it thought that a worldwide trade war was going to break out. They could see not only sanctions on Canada, they figured that if Trump can put sanctions on Canada, then he can certainly put sanctions on the EU, or he can put sanctions on he might put sanctions on the Great Britain, he might put sanctions on Japan, etc., etc. And so all the currencies went downhill, including everyone's getting risk off by selling crypto, which I think was a mistake. It was just a silly thing that happens from time to time, and it will come back. And really, if the Canadians and the Mexicans wanted to hurt the Americans, instead of threatening to put sanctions back, do the same thing, make the same stupid mistake. It's like two countries saying, well, I'm going to shoot myself in my foot, and the country next door saying, well, if you shoot yourself in your foot, I'm going to shoot myself in my foot. It's so stupid. The people who pay the sanctions are the people who... Now, I know Americans are wealthy, okay? Our median salary, that's the salary at which half the population earn more, half the population earns less, in this country is about £24,000. So let's be generous and say that's $30,000, right? It's not, but let's just be generous and say that. And the median salary in the United States is $80,000. 80,000. Now I know they have to spend £25,000 a year on health insurance, probably for a family of 4. But you know, there's a big difference, isn't there? You might ask yourself, how can we only be on £24,000 and they're on $80,000? And the answer is that they have an extremely bloated, elevated lifestyle. They live well above their means because they export dollars in return for goods, and so as a result they can all live above their means, whereas we're still living slightly above our means. We're still running deficits, but not like the Americans do. I mean, they're the masters at it. So if the Mexicans or the Canadians wanted to do anything, they should sell US government bonds, which will make the bonds worth less, because there'll be more of them on the market, and because they'll be worth less and they pay a fixed income, that means that the interest rate, you know, that people would want for new bonds would be higher, because they can buy old bonds that are paying relatively high interest rates compared to the purchase price. So why would they want to buy a bond that paid less interest relative to the purchase price? So that's how the bond vigilantes, as they're called, people who sell bonds when they think that the government is being run poorly, that's how they punish the government, by selling government bonds. And that's, now the trouble is that Canada and Mexico don't have many US government bonds. The people that could really do that in a big way are probably funnily enough, the Japanese, I think, are the majority holder of US government bonds, and then probably other countries like China, you know, perhaps China. I don't think Russia really comes into this equation, because it's not really in the world financial system. You know, they've been chucked out, weren't they? They were chucked out. No, what Canada and Mexico have got is just large land borders, and people don't, you know, they've gone mad about a world trade war and tariffs and everything. Whereas what they don't realise is the reason why it's, let me just spell it out for you, right? If you're watching from the United Nations, the reason why it's Mexico and Canada is because they have got a large land border with the United States. Okay, glad we cleared that up then. All right, gotta go to work. See you soon. Bye.